starting from scratch. Day 3. With a great wave of inspiration and high momentum back of her, she did what she intended, at long last, and once done, it was as though an incredulous burden had lifted, and she fell into a deep, peaceful sleep. As she'd written and known it to be, the day prior was a game changer. She's reminded of words that she says often to others. Quote, "It's not necessarily what you do that matters. It's that you do it, much like meditation. One can set their timer for 15 minutes or so, whatever, close their eyes with the intention to switch off, and never do. The mind chatters endlessly, and yet the meditation, if one may say, was a success because of the intention set back of it. It is even a far greater success when one can be in a non-judgmental state, observing the mind and its natterings, as opposed to squishing it all down. Nothing ever works in a resistant state, right? Transcendence is the key, to open one's eyes and see, rather than close one's eyes and push things away. She awoke alive, in love, at ease. Life this morning was brand new again. She welcomed her body into the day. She did her morning rituals and then sat to write, to first appreciate, to list all the positive aspects she could think of, and then decided to forsake going out for a walk in the daylight to walking by moonlight. Something in her guided her to carry on writing. Whilst in appreciation mode, she was overcome with a wave of love and bliss. She received a message to relay to someone and did so. Continued on day 4. She was reminded that one must be in receptive mode to receive even the greatest news. Otherwise, it falls upon deaf ears. Her job is not to convince anyone of the greatness that life is, the simplicity of it, that one is in all moments creating all outcomes with thought. Taking a step back, a thought has already become. It is a manifestation of vibration, how one feels, and finally, thoughts turn to things, what we see and experience around us. Feeling great? Well, that was one's own doing. Feeling horrid? That too was one's own doing, in equal measure. So all in all, yes, her job is not to convince anyone of anything. It is to simply relay goodness, to look for and appreciate the goodness in everything and everyone. Speaking of everyone, there is a present scenario that unfolds seemingly like a snowball, turning into an avalanche. She cannot but see otherwise. There is only one thing to do, which is nothing at all. Simply love all those involved and solely respond when asked. She knows the time of intervention is long gone. As a side note, Adrianka, her blessed home, does not face the rising of the sun, nor the setting of it. However, in these moments, she is in awe, looking out her window at the buildings up the road, seeing the windows alight in fiery red tones reflecting the sun's descent. It is enough. It is enough. She is in great love right now, having been out earlier, enjoying a walk, the balmy temperature and general goodness. Eager is she for her friend to arrive and to share beautiful food together. Before commencing, she'll share a message received from a dear friend, far away, yet right here and now. Quote, "By day, I am battling the dragons from hell, to speak to you, peace by night. Blessed and dear you are to me, as this divine awakening unfolds. My companion in light, God's light has shone upon our path. I am witness to thee. She responded, and I witness to thee. God is within us, always. Let us stay focused upon it by doing our best to stay or continue returning over and over again to the present gifted moment. Resurrected are we every time we do so. That is true home right within us, heaven on earth, bliss. Time to cook, but she says to herself, really, we must speak of this quote-unquote God. What is it anyhow? Starting from scratch, day 5. Oh boy, perhaps the toughest day yet, but the best in equal measure. The only thing to do was nothing, not with the state she was in. She fell into death to awaken feeling better. What she was petrified of doing, she did. Having felt better for it, though she remained slow, she remained close to herself. A short one, yes, this is not about God after all, not this time. Though the writing that comes through cannot be said is solely her own. The God within writes to be seen and felt. Indeed, and so it is. Now is calm. Calm is now. Time to work with this momentum rising. Starting from scratch, day 6. Today was a game changer, and not just once. She kept stepping up. It was the best day of her life. Amazing, in fact. Spectacular, considering she'd wanted to fade out of existence not so long ago. Yesterday, who can ever remember in this quickly shifting time? One day, not that long ago, in recounting a story to a friend, he reminded her that she told him that one last time, and jokingly he said, "And what, now you're going to forget my name?" And she did. She truly did, staring at him quite blankly. It was as though his name had been completely etched out of her memory. About a week later, when staying at the second of 3 homes in the epic December journey, she had difficulty remembering what the lady of the house looked like. She would first have to remember the face of her boss, for whom she worked at a fashion wholesaler in Toronto nearly 20 years ago. Peculiar? Perhaps, though she knew it solely as a symptom of ascension, and not to fret about it. When it came to her body, she no longer fretted. On this particular day, she noticed how incredibly soft the tips of her fingers were, and that the skin embracing her throat chakra was clearing. Things were moving along. One more note on ascension before recounting other step-ups from today. As she'd mentioned earlier, seriously have wanted to just fade out of existence. It's been really difficult, though even in that, there's a reminder that it'll pass. "We're okay, my love," she said to her sister. "If ascension was any faster, we'd be like a bug having been slammed on the windshield of a car driving 500 kilometers an hour, splattered to oblivion long ago." In finishing that line of thought, we only ever receive what we are ready for. And that is, after all, part of a morning mantra. I've been getting ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. And I'm open to all that I am ready for. So a few days back, she heard something about successful people, that they do the very thing they least want to do as early as possible in the day so that it's over and done with. Another one of those mornings where she was shit scared to do this thing, even more so than the business plan, and she did it first. In fact, it wasn't even in the morning. She was still in her pajamas, and all she remembered is pouring her heart into a message to a friend asking for a short-term loan, like yesterday. Holding her breath and pressing send, which she noticed afterwards happened to be at 2:22 p.m. Immediate relief as she closed her computer and went off to shower and get out for a walk. God bless her dear friend and kindred spirit of lifetimes who messaged, emailed, and called immediately. Of course, with her phone habitually on silent, she didn't notice a thing until a little later. They spoke, and though what he was saying wasn't, "Yeah, sure, I'll send you the money promptly," she experienced incredible relief in simply speaking with him. In this precise moment, she's reminded again, it's not what you do, it's that you do it. Which further reminds her of a quote by President Eisenhower: "Plans are useless, but planning is indispensable." Same, no? For her, yes. There's one more story from today, no, two rather, but sleep does beckon, before which a bentonite clay mask takes shape on her face.